excited to talk to you about Ask Me to Dance. Pretty curious, Tom, as a writer, director, and starring. Was this based on a dancing experience?
Well, I had been ballroom dancing since like 1997, and I fell in love with West Coast swing, which was kind of a smooth, slinky version of swing, unlike the big band kind of acrobatic swing. And so it was dance to contemporary music, which was so fun. The first time I saw it, I go, they're dancing it to the music I love. Like, not that I didn't like salsa merengue and all that, but I don't drive in the car and blast salsa merengue all the time. So you can dance West Coast swing, hip hop, pop, R&B, blues. And so I fell in love with it. And I had written a movie called Love and Dancing that Robert Iscove directed, the director of She's All That. But it wasn't my vision. So I wanted to make one that was my vision. And this was Ask Me to Dance.
Oh, well, and you had to pick a perfect dancing partner, right? Briana.
I got lucky. I got lucky with the perfect dancing partner. Yep.
It was easy to say yes to the scripts.
So what was it like for you to go back to your roots of a dancer?
Who are you asking?
You, Briana.
Okay. Look, I know Tom's been dancing his whole life as well. It was awesome. I started dancing when I was 7, and I mainly did hip hop. So this was a new, and I just thought it was so fun and free and sexy. And once I got the foundation kind of down and the steps, and again, there's not too much structure to it, but there's a couple little things that once I got confident and comfortable with that, was able to trust and follow instead of lead in dancing, which was a little tricky for me. But it was awesome, and I will always love dancing. So coming back to this and being able to perform and do it with all the experts was just really, really special for me.
That's brilliant. So I'm very curious also because there's the integration of relationships, dating that really sucks for the most part. Can you talk a little bit about that, Tom? Some of your experiences or friends?
Oh yeah, that's like a third of the stories are stuff that's happened to me, on dates, being a single dad and, going out of the dating world. So had to put those in there. But a lot of the other ones were stories that friends had told me, and I'd make little checklists how that's going in the movie, in my head. So that was just fun, putting it all there, because I'd say that this movie is truly about the journey. You know that they're going to get together. You know the destination is going to be her and I together, finding love. But the finding and the experience, everything you don't want, is what's the funny part.
And then you also have relationships and with friends, which, Briana, let me have you put your intake on that.
I lucked out and scored and had Mario as my best friend in the movie, which was like a dream. He was just so fun. And, I'm actually not used to doing comedy and stuff. So for me, it was so fun to just have him ad-libbing and making stuff up as we went, as well as Tom. Just obviously we stayed on the script for the most part, but to have those scenes where you just kind of recreate something, you just create something entirely new and play, basically. It was like we went to work every day and got to play with people that we were becoming friends with and people that we truly just loved being with. So it was an awesome experience for me.
And she took to comedy that, like white on rice. She was just fantastic. But it was like, the bottom line is it'd never been in a film set like this where at least 2-3 times a day we'd yell cut and everybody would burst out laughing. And that's a great feeling. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I need a taster friend now.
Oh, the taster. Yes, that's what Mario was, the taster. I forgot. Took us a second.
Yeah, Mario was awesome. He was hilarious. A little bit about
He's always great.
He is great. The choreography, the dancing, one of the main long scenes in the end, that looked beautiful, taking us back to Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I mean, I'd like to shout out to Robert Royce, our choreographer, the 8-time U.S. Open swing dance champion. And funny enough, he was my first dance teacher because I wanted to learn from the best. And this is going back 20-something years. But what's cool is that, people don't see all the hard work that goes into it. We would actually shoot. I mean, we were training before, and then during the shoot, we'd actually shoot all day and then meet each other in the hotel. And he would choreograph us and watch us and give us notes and stuff like that. Entire shooting, and thankfully that dance was pushed to the last day, and it was actually the last scene that we shot before the group dance. And by that time we knew each other, we knew our ups and downs, and we had it. Every time we did it, I don't think there was rarely a mistake. They just covered it from 20 different times, you know, so that we could just get it on screen and have cutaways.
Would say that was my favorite dance scene to film. We did a ton of rehearsals and stuff, and it was also kind of the hardest one actually for me because it was quite slow, and I'm not used to dancing that way. But once I accepted the following factor and just kind of learned all the choreography, but let Tom lead it for real, and connected with him, then that's when it became fun. You know, that's when you really get to feel the dancing. So and yes, we filmed it a million times because you have to get all the angles, and we had the spotlight in the dark room, and it just felt magical.
Well, and that was my intention as a director, was that if you notice in the scene in the beginning, we're at a wedding reception, you see everything in the background.
Yeah.
And about 1 minute into the dance, I had it all fade out. And that was an inspiration from West Side Story, which I've seen live on stage maybe 10 times. My favorite Broadway musical. In this, with Somewhere, the song in there, they kind of go outside of reality. So I did want to make it outside the reality. It was just about those two at that point. It wasn't about everybody else, all the crazy characters. It was just about them, and hopefully that comes across.
What happens when you fall in love? You get the tunnel
Smoking
vision
eyes.
and just
Yep.
That's true. That's true. Now, Tom, how did you get Kurt for a cameo? That was quite a surprise.
The joke about that scene is that the exact real thing happened to my sister. And it was years ago, and it was Christopher Walken, and he was checking her out at a club, and she thought, why won't he talk to me? The exact scene in the movie was my sister. And then when he finally left, and when she looked, she turns around and there's a picture of Christopher Walken on the wall behind her that he was looking at. He wasn't looking at her. So for me, it was just like, you know, trying to find somebody, a notable celebrity, and it was just a connection to Kurt. And he got it right away. And my buddy David Lawrence, who's second unit director, has a video of me off camera watching this scene and just crying, laughing, because I just thought it was so funny because he played it so straight, and he was just great. Kurt was great. Natural.
That was hilarious. It never would have crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Now, just to wrap up, I have to ask, based on the storyline for both, what would be your dating advice? One thing you've learned.
One thing I've learned, you can have a fairy tale ending. You can. Wait for it. Never settle, as I say in the film, as Jill says in the film. Never settle. Keep believing in love.
And I'll just say I'm ready to settle. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just saying that I'm kidding. I haven't found it yet, but you know, I think
Don't you dare.
Yeah, I know, I won't. But what I'll say is that you know, if you go out and you have a great time, if that's your angle, and just go, no matter what, I'm gonna have a fun time. And I try to keep that in my life. I always try to look like I'm having a good time, and that's because I am having a good time. So if that's your goal, most likely you'll hit that, whether the date is crazy or not. Because if it is, then you can laugh about it. But if it's a connection, you can continue that connection.
Okay. Well, thank
Tom,
you.
can we both agree? Kiss a lot of frogs.
Yeah, kiss a lot of frogs. Yes, yeah, true. Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
The classic. Okay, then I have a lot of frogs to go around. Yes.
Look.
Well, thank you guys for the film and for this time to
Thank
chat.
you.
And I enjoyed the film. Thank you.